Have you ever watched someone zoom past you in your career, in life, just because they play dirty? A coworker who kisses up to the boss, a friend who manipulates, an influencer who fakes it till they make it. They climb to the top while you, trying to play fair, get left in the dust. Why? Because the world doesn't play nice. Welcome to psychology's darkest secret. Success isn't for the good guys. It's for those who know how to play the game. But here's the question that'll make you think. Can you win? Reach the top, chase your dreams, without turning into the villain of your own story? Today, we're diving into the mind of Friedrich Nietzsche, a philosopher who exposed this brutal truth, and uncovering how psychology explains why the bad ones win, and what you can do to flip the script. Welcome to an electrifying journey through the shadowy corners of the human mind, where we rip off the mask society puts on truth. This isn't just about history or philosophy, it's about you. That moment you felt stabbed in the back at work, at school, in life. We're exploring why the world seems built for those with no scruples, and whether there's a way to win without losing your soul. So, buckle up, because this truth will shake you and maybe change how you see the world. Look around. Who's on top? The most honest politicians? The most generous CEOs? Or the ones who know how to manipulate, deceive, and crush anyone in their way? History doesn't lie. Julius Caesar didn't conquer Rome with hugs. He used betrayal and strategy. Cleopatra? She seduced kings and outsmarted empires to keep Egypt alive. Even today, think about tech giants or influencers who rule social media. How many climbed without throwing shade, without stepping on someone? Psychology is clear. Power isn't a trophy for the good. It's a crown you snatch. Nietzsche, the guy who turned philosophy upside down, knew this. And beyond good and evil, he said, good and evil are just words, inventions. The strong, leaders, warriors, creators, make their own rules, driven by ambition, the hunger to dominate. But the weak, who can't keep up, cooked up a different moral code. Humility, obedience, kindness. Nietzsche called this slave morality. Sounds noble, right? But it's a trap. This morality chains you, makes you hesitate, while the villains, the ones who laugh at these rules, soar to the top. Ever been there? Seen a less ethical coworker outshine you? Drop in the comments. Has it ever pissed you off to see the bad ones win? Because psychology explains it. The world isn't here to give you justice. It's here to test you. Now comes the part that hurts. Playing the power game has a price. And it's not just for others. It's for you. Think of Alexander the Great. He conquered half the world, but ended up paranoid, betrayed, dead before 30. Or take a modern vibe. Remember Walter White for Breaking Bad? He started wanting to save his family, but became Heisenberg, a monster, and those CEOs swimming in cash, but living alone, paranoid, hated. Success comes, but at what cost? Your peace, your soul, that voice in your head asking, who have I become? Nietzsche didn't say to be cruel. He said, be you. Make your own rules. Don't swallow societies like a robot. But man, that's a tightrope. When you start playing dirty, a little lie here, a shortcut there, something shifts. Every choice pulls you toward the dark side. Think about your world. You're gunning for promotion. Your rival's slick, but shady. They kiss up, twist the truth, maybe even sabotage you. You try to play fair. Who wins? Them, right? And then the temptation hits. What if I played their game? Just this once. That's how the villain is born. One small decision, one step. Suddenly, you're in so deep you don't know who you are anymore. History's full of this. Napoleon started as a revolutionary hero, but ended as a tyrant, exiled to an island. Even Machiavelli, the power guru, wrote The Prince to teach how to win, but ended up rejected, alone. Psychology explains it. Power's like a drug. It gives you a high, but it eats you up. Studies show people in power lose empathy, get more narcissistic, more likely to manipulate. It's the effect of power on your brain, and it doesn't forgive. So here's the big question. Can you win without becoming that guy? How do you hold a crown without getting burned? Nietzsche said to go beyond good and evil. Create a morality that's yours, blending ambition with authenticity. But that's hardcore. The world will push you to play dirty, to ditch your values. Think of Cleopatra, queen of the game. She manipulated, seduced, survived against Rome. Was she evil or just brilliant? She paid a price, lived on the edge, lost it all in the end. Power gives, but it takes. So, how do you play without losing yourself? In the comments, I want to know, have you ever felt that pressure to play the game? How do you handle it? Because the answer's in your mind, and psychology can help you find it. So why are we so drawn to these villains? Why do we secretly admire the ones who break the rules? Think about it. We binge shows like The Sopranos, rooting for Tony Soprano, a mob boss who's charming but ruthless. Or scroll through social media, where influencers with fake smiles and shady tactics get millions of likes. There's something magnetic about them. Psychology calls this the allure of the shadow self, a concept from Carl Jung. It's that hidden part of you that craves power, freedom, the thrill of breaking free from society's chains. And the villains? They live it out loud, while we're stuck wrestling with guilt. History backs this up. Take Catherine the Great. She wasn't born to rule Russia. She seized the throne through cunning, overthrowing her own husband. Was she a monster or a mastermind? Her reign brought progress, but also bloodshed. People admired her not for being good, but for being bold. Fast forward to today. Social media rewards the loud, the manipulative, the ones who game the algorithm with clickbait and drama. Ever notice how the most toxic posts get the most engagement? It's not a glitch, it's human nature. Psychology's bystander effect shows we often stand by, watching the villains win, because we're too afraid to challenge them. We'll let them set the rules. This is where it gets messy. Society tells you to be good, but rewards the opposite. Think about your feed. Who gets the clout? The humble creator grinding in silence, or the one stirring up beef for views? The workplace. Who gets a raise? The quiet worker or the loudmouth taking credit? It's cognitive dissonance, your brain torn between what you're taught and what you see. Nietzsche would say, wake up. The world's not fair because it's built on power, not justice. But here's the kicker. Admiring villains doesn't mean you have to become one. You can learn from their boldness without copying their cruelty. Ever caught yourself envying someone who plays dirty? Drop it in the comments. What's a villain you secretly admire and why? Because understanding that pull is the first step to beating it. So, how do you win without going full villain? Psychology's got your back. Let's revisit Nelson Mandela, not just a hero, but a master strategist. He didn't just fight apartheid, he outsmarted it. He used empathy, patience, and unshakable values to dismantle a system without losing himself. That's the trick. You don't have to play dirty to play smart. Studies on emotional intelligence show that people who read others' motives, like spotting a manipulator, can navigate power games without sinking to their level. It's like chess. You don't need to cheat to checkmate. Here's how to do it. First, know your values. Write down 3 things you won't compromise. Honesty, loyalty, whatever. That's your anchor. Next, spot the villains. Psychology says manipulators thrive on charm and ambiguity. Watch for red flags, fake flattery, vague promises, or guilt tripping. At work, if someone's always borrowing your ideas, call it out politely but firmly. Set boundaries. History shows this works. Think of Abraham Lincoln. He faced cutthroat politics but stayed principled, using wit and empathy to outmaneuver rivals. He won without becoming a snake. Another hack: build your tribe. Villains often work alone, burning bridges. You? Surround yourself with people who share your values. Studies show strong social bonds boost resilience against toxic environments. In the Roman Senate, Cicero tried this, rallying allies against corruption. He didn't always win, but his legacy outlasted the backstabbers. Today, it's your group chat, your mentors, your squad. They keep you grounded. Ever had someone pull you back from a bad choice? That's your tribe in action. Finally, own your ambition. Nietzsche's will to power isn't about being a jerk. It's about creating, leading, shining. Channel that into something bigger than yourself. Start a project, inspire others, make a dent in the world. You don't need to crush anyone to rise. In the comments, share what's one ambition you're chasing, and how do you stay true to yourself? Because psychology says you can win ethically if you play smarter, not dirtier. So what's the way out? First, you gotta decide, what's success to you? Because the real danger isn't losing to the villains. It's becoming one without noticing. Look at Nelson Mandela again. He took on a brutal system, spent decades in prison, but never lost what made him human. He had ambition, changing a nation, but also values that kept him grounded. Or think of smaller, but just as epic, examples. The teacher who changes lives without manipulating. The entrepreneur who builds something dope without crushing anyone. They exist. They prove it's possible, not easy, but possible, to play the game without selling your soul. Psychology has a hack for this: self-awareness. It's knowing where you draw the line, because the world will push you to cross it. It'll tell you that to reach the top, you gotta be cold, selfish, ruthless. But Nietzsche drops the truth. The greatest power isn't ruling others. It's ruling yourself. It's having the guts to say no when everyone's screaming go for it. Psychology studies show that people with clear values, who know who they are, resist the pull to act like villains better. It's like a mental armor. Back to that crossroads, virtue or power. There's no one-size-fits-all answer, but there's a choice. You can reach the top, your dreams, your glory, without becoming the villain. But it takes something villains rarely have: the courage to be different, the strength to carve your own path, even when the game pulls you to the dark side. Humanity's history is this: Caesars and Mandelas, tyrants and heroes. It's your story too. The real battlefield isn't out there, in thrones, offices, headlines. It's in your head. So, tell me, who do you want to be? The villain who wins at any cost? Or the one who proves you can go beyond good and evil and still make it? In the comments, share your story. Have you faced this choice? Did you play dirty or hold your ground? Your answer might change the game for someone. And if this video got you thinking, smash that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and let's keep diving into the wild ride of the human mind. History's watching. What are you going to do?